Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be doing an unhaul, so I'm going to show you guys all of the books that we're going to be getting rid of. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so I have two huge large stacks right here that I'm getting rid of, so I'll go through all the books for you guys and tell you why we're getting rid of them. So to start, I figured I'll start with these two historical romances. These are both books I've had for quite a while. I think I bought these around like 4 years ago. The first one is Suddenly You by Lisa Kleypas. I have a very love-hate relationship with her books. Some of them I've enjoyed and other ones I haven't really liked. And I kind of just lost interest in this one, and I believe this is a standalone. And so yeah, I'm mostly just getting rid of this one because I just lost interest. The other one is Wicked in Your Arms by Sophie Jordan. This is another one I've had for quite a while. And I have another historical romance from her that I'm more excited to read. And this is another one where I just lost interest. So I'm going to be giving this one away. Next, I have another one that you can kind of say is a historical romance, and so yeah. The next one I'm getting rid of is Outlander. The reason why I'm getting rid of this is, well, first of all, I'm not a fan of this big hardcover. It's very chunky. I know it's a big book, but it's just like a big floppy paperback, and I don't really want to read this format. And part of me also kind of lost interest in this book because I read a Goodreads review where someone said there's some problematic type content in it that I just personally don't like. And I understand that these books are from the 90s, so they're gonna be more problematic, but I'm just not sure if this is gonna be for me, which is why I'm getting rid of it. The next ones are two romance books that I've had for 4 years. Well, I've had the first one for 4 years, and that one I'm talking about is The Trouble with Hating You. I haven't heard anyone talk about this. It's like an Indian hate to love romance, which I was interested in it 4 years ago when I bought this, but it's one of those books where I kind of just lost interest because I've had it for a long time, and I saw something on Goodreads about it that I wasn't a huge fan of, and it's just something I personally don't like, so I'm gonna get rid of it. And I'm also getting rid of the third book. This is actually a companion series. This is the third one. I found this in the bargain section of Books A Million months ago. And so yeah, since I'm getting rid of the first one, obviously I'm gonna get rid of one of the companion books because I'm not gonna read it. Next, I have a fantasy here. It's The Last Unicorn. I bought this one several months ago with some other classic fantasies. I bought The Princess Bride. I forgot what else I bought with it, but I went through a phase of wanting to own a lot of classic fantasies. So I decided to get rid of this one in particular because I kind of just lost interest in the story. And I'm just not interested in reading it anymore, so I'm getting rid of it. And another one is a book I got from when I worked on my bookstore job several months ago, and I'm getting rid of The Order of the Key. And this one I also just lost interest in because it just doesn't sound like something I would like anymore. It's kind of like a newer dystopian YA book, and I don't read dystopians anymore. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of it. And then, speaking of YA, I have another one. And I'm also getting rid of The Darkest Star from Jennifer Armentrout. She's one of my favorite authors. I love her books, and I absolutely love her Luck series that I read back in the day. I actually still own them on my bookshelves because I love that series. This is the spin-off series to the Luck series, and I kind of just lost interest, honestly. I just don't really want to read this anymore. I think I'm just gonna stick to the original Luck series if I ever want to reread it. So yeah, parting with this one too. Here's another YA. I guess I'm doing a pattern now. YA fantasies. So I think I'm gonna get rid of A Study in Drowning. I haven't actually read this one. I've heard some very mixed reviews on this recently, and I'm not getting rid of it because of the mixed reviews. I think I'm just starting to kind of lose interest in this, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it because I know it's more of like a dark academia type story, which I'm not a huge fan of. And so I kind of figured if I ever do want to read this again in the future, I can just borrow it from the library. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it. Oh, and if anyone has read this, can you please let me know your thoughts in the comments? I'm really curious to see what everyone thinks. Then the next one is a cozy, I think it's a cozy fantasy. I got this copy for free from work when I worked at the bookstore. And I just don't want to read it anymore, so I'm getting rid of it. So the book is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. I'm just not interested in this anymore. I just tried reading like several cozy fantasies. One of the other ones I tried is in this video. I'll show you later on. And I think I just kind of realized lately that I don't think cozy fantasy is really the genre for me. The only one I've liked so far is Emily Wilde, and that's literally it. And as you guys know, I'm more of a high fantasy reader, so I don't think I'm gonna like this, and I'm just not really interested in reading this anymore. And I've also heard that it's very spicy. So if you guys like cozy fantasy with a lot of spice, I guess you would like this. But yeah, it's just not for me. And like I said, I got it for free, so I have no obligation to keep it. I'm getting rid of here's another YA book for you. It's another Jennifer Armentrout book. I'm getting rid of White Hot Kiss. I originally had this book years ago, and I remember I tried reading it, didn't love it, so I don't know why several months ago I rebought this, and I rebought it in like this newer cover. So I guess I was kind of interested in reading all of her books again, but then I kind of realized that even though she's one of my favorite authors, I don't have to read all of her books. So I'm getting rid of this one. Also because I lost interest, just like with The Darkest Star, but also because this one's very like YA high school, like it's set in high school. So I feel like I've just aged out of that in terms of like fantasy. I will still read a YA contemporary every once in a while, but I don't want to read a fantasy book that's set in high school. That's not the point of fantasy to me. So I'm getting rid of it. Oh, here's the other book I was telling you guys. Like this is the other cozy fantasy I literally just recently read, and I ended up DNFing it because I ended up like I got bored with it halfway through, so I DNF'd it. So the book I'm talking about is The Spell Shop. I was really excited for this because it sounded so good, and I remember like really early on I heard like amazing reviews, and it just sounded really cute and cozy, and I started reading this recently. I like loved the first half of the book, but then I don't know what happened. Like halfway through I just kind of got bored, so I just put it down and DNF'd it and just never picked it back up. So I'm gonna get rid of The Spell Shop. These next ones are also like fantasy books that I decided to get rid of that I tried. So the next one is Two Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. This one is like a Chinese adult fantasy, and I recently just tried reading this because I'm really into like Asian fantasies, but I just could not get into this, and I think it's because of the author's writing style. Like for some reason, like I found her writing style just like really confusing. I couldn't understand like what was going on. And so yeah, I think I just realized that it's just not for me. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. And then I have one more fantasy. So the next one is The Wren in the Holly Library. This one's like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I think it's kind of like urban fantasy. I actually didn't try reading this one, but I kind of just like lost interest in this because I don't know. It just doesn't sound like something like I would like anymore because my taste is just changing a lot. It's also kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I'm starting to kind of get sick of that trope. Well, in terms of fantasy, because I feel like I've read a lot of Beauty and the Beast retellings lately, and I've looked it up on Goodreads. The reviews for this one aren't that great, and there's just stuff about it on Goodreads that made me not want to read it even more. Just like random stuff that I don't like. So even though it's gorgeous, I'm gonna get rid of this because I just don't think I need it anymore. And then I believe the last stack are all romances, so. I am very picky, guys. I am very picky with romance now, so yeah, I tend to get rid of a lot of romances. I don't know why, I've just gotten pickier over the years because I've read romance. I've been reading romance for a very long time. Same with fantasy, but I'm like way more picky now with romance than fantasy. So, I'll show you guys all the romance books left that I'm getting rid of. So the first one is The Spanish Love Deception. I know this one is super popular. It got really popular because of Book Talk, and like it sounds really cute. I've heard that it's compared to like The Hating Game, because it's like a cute like hate to love romance where they pretend to fake date at like a wedding. The plot sounds interesting to me, but the fact that it's like over 400 pages is making me not want to read it because I don't like long romances. Anything that's over like 300 pages, I will not read a romance that's 400 plus pages. They're just too long for me. And I've heard this book is I've heard it's very draggy and it's very repetitive. So I don't think I want to waste my time with this. And I haven't heard the best things about it either. It seems very mixed. So, if any of you have read this, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. The next one is The Kindred Spirits Supper Club. This is a book that Stacey has actually really liked. She really liked this one. I just don't think this is going to be for me. I kind of just like lost interest in it recently. And it kind of has like a paranormal type plot in it. There's like a ghost, which I'm not really into, so I'm going to get rid of this one. The next one is a romance book I've had for several years. I think I've had this for like 3 years. I honestly just lost interest. That book is The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This one I'm just not interested in anymore. It's really just like a hate to love romance, and they both kind of like work for a radio station. This is not a plot that interests me anymore. So I'm getting rid of this because I just lost interest, honestly. The next one is another book that Stacey really liked, but I'm not interested in reading it anymore. And that book is Love Scenes. This one looks really cute, but yeah, I'm just like not interested in reading it anymore. There's just too many like romance books out there. And then the next one is another book I found in the bargain section of Books A Million, because I was interested in reading this, but after reading some reviews, it definitely put me off, and I'll explain why in a minute. So the book I'm talking about is Luck Bridesmaid. This book looks like and it sounds like it'd be like a really cute romance book, right? Well, according to Goodreads reviews, it's not a romance. People say it's actually women's fiction, which I'm not a big fan of. But people said the romance isn't really in there that much. And I've just heard things about the romance that don't make sense. Like, she kind of ends up with the wrong person at the end and stuff like that. It was just like a bunch of things and reviews that kind of turned me off from this. And so, yeah. But the main reason was because the fact that it's women's fiction and it's not actually romance, which I have a huge problem with, and I would love to do a video on this topic in the future. So, yeah. I'm getting rid of this one. The next one is another one that's kind of popular. I've heard some people talk about it. And I'm talking about the book. That book is The Nanny. This one I was interested in, obviously, because I bought it, like, not too long ago, but, I bought this because I love the nanny trope, but I've heard that this is so spicy, like, really spicy, and I'm not a huge fan of, like, spicy romances anymore. Like, I'm trying to kind of, like, not read them as often anymore, because my taste has changed. But also, like, this book is, like, over 400 pages. Like, it's another one of those, like, longer fantasy books, kind of like The Spanish Love Deception. So, yeah. I just lost interest in this, so I'm gonna get rid of it. And the next one is another book I bought in the bargain section. I'm talking about, the book is Love at First Sight by Suzanne Park. This one I was interested in for several years, but I think recently I just kind of lost interest in it. It does not have the best reviews on Goodreads, and it just sounds, to me it just sounds more women's fiction than romance, which I said before that I'm not into. So I'm getting rid of it. The next book, another one that I'm kind of getting rid of, kind of getting rid of for the same reason. That book is Heart and Soul by Jen Frederick. This is the author who wrote, she co-wrote Paper Princess with, I think it was Elle Kennedy. I read that book years ago because I've had it for a long time. Did not like it. I hated that book. And I started reading this months ago. I liked what I read from the first chapter, but I put it down because I wasn't in the mood. And then this book just sounds like it's more women's fiction. It's not really romance, but there actually is a sequel to this where there is a romance. Like, she ends up with someone, and this is gonna be kind of a spoiler. I don't know if anyone's planning on reading this, so if you want to read this, maybe skip this next part. But what put me off from like wanting to continue this is the fact that I read the synopsis for book 2, and it says who she ends up with, and so she ends up with her stepbrother, which I'm not a fan of. That is way too taboo for me. So yeah, that's why I'm getting rid of this. The next one is a romance arc I got from work at my old bookstore job. It's called The Book Swap. This one looks so cute. If you look at the cover of the Little Free Library, it looks so cute. But when I was reading the reviews for this on Goodreads, people said like it's not really a romance. Like it's not a rom-com. And people were saying just how dark this book is. Like, it deals with a lot of dark topics, which is not the vibe I get from the cover or the synopsis. So, I don't like reading dark romances. I don't like reading dark topics in my romances. I like my light and fluffy romances, so yeah. I'm not going to read this because of how dark it is. It's very misleading. The marketing was definitely wrong for this book. Here's another romance book that I was interested in months ago, and I decided to get rid of it because I lost interest, and that book is Wren to Be. This book sounded really cute. It's kind of like she struggles, like loses her job, and she can't go home and live with her parents, so she ends up like rooming with her, like, I think it's like her brother's best friend. It sounded really cute, but I just kind of like lost interest. Like, I'm not excited to read this, honestly. And I've heard from a Goodreads review that people say there's more spice than plot, which I'm not a fan of. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. I think I only have one more book left. So the last book I'm gonna mention is one more romance book. I was excited to read this book because it's the author who wrote As Seen on TV, which was a romance book that Stacey and I both read several years ago, and we really liked it. Like, it was really cute. So when I saw this book for free at work, I was so excited to read this because I got a free copy. And honestly, I kind of just like lost interest in this because the plot just doesn't sound like that great to me. It's about two people whose families have been friends for years, but they don't like each other, and they're forced to kind of like help throw their parents like a party, so they have to work together, even though they don't like each other. And something that put me off also from reading this is the fact that people said in a review that like they really harassed each other for like 21 years, and the characters in this book are just so immature based on what people say, and you can actually tell from the back cover where they really like pull pranks on each other and stuff. Like, it's so immature, so I'm like, I don't want to read this. They're like these grown adults acting like children, and I hate the bully trope, so I'm getting rid of this, even though I loved her first book. And so yeah, those are all the books we're getting rid of. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love watching unhauls, so I thought it'd be fun for us to do like our own unhaul video on the channel. And if anyone's read any of the books I'm getting rid of, let me know in the comments. I want to know your thoughts. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. And yeah, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon on our channel. Bye!